In the heart of Whisperwood Forest, under the wide stretch of velvet night sky, lived Olive, a young barn owl with golden eyes that glimmered like tiny lanterns. Every night she would glide silently between the treetops, her feathers catching the silver moonlight as she watched over her woodland friends. The forest at night was usually alive with sound, the chirp of crickets, the gentle hum of wind through the leaves, and the trickle of the stream as it caught the moon's reflection. But one peculiar evening, Olive woke from her cozy hollow and peered outside, only to freeze in surprise. The forest was cloaked in a heavy darkness. There was no moon, no silver glow, no gentle light falling between the branches. The stars themselves seemed faint, as though they were hiding. She blinked and ruffled her feathers. "Where is the moonlight?" she whispered to herself. The forest didn't just look dark, it felt quiet, almost uneasy. As she flew through the trees, Olive noticed the changes right away. The crickets were silent. No fireflies danced above the grass. Even the river looked dull and lifeless, without its shimmering ribbon of light. Curious and concerned, Olive decided she needed answers. She headed toward the tallest pine tree in the forest, hoping to get a better view. Below, on the forest floor, she spotted Milo the mouse carrying a bundle of acorns in his tiny paws. "Milo," she called down. "Have you seen the moon tonight?" Milo looked up, shaking his head with wide eyes. "No. Without it, I keep tripping over roots and dropping my acorns. I can't find my way home in the dark." Olive gave him a reassuring nod before flying onward. She stopped by the stream, where Clara the raccoon was wading in the shallows. Normally, Clara could see fish gliding under the water's surface, but now she squinted into the gloom. "No moon means no reflection in the stream," Clara grumbled. "I can't catch my dinner without that silver light to guide me." Even the fireflies were in disarray. Olive found a small group huddled under a fern. "It's too dark to fly safely," they explained in tiny buzzing voices. "We can't find each other without the moon's glow to lead the way." Olive's heart grew heavy. This was more than a mystery, it was a problem for everyone in Whisperwood. If the moonlight didn't return, the rhythm of the forest would falter. Animals would struggle to move about, find food, or even enjoy the beauty of the night. Determined to help, Olive decided to visit Moonrise Hill, the place where the moon always first appeared above the horizon. On her journey, she passed Benny the beaver repairing his dam in the dim light. "You're out late," Benny said, tilting his head. "What's going on?" "The moon is missing," Olive explained. "I'm going to find it." Benny's eyes widened. He reached into a small pile of treasures beside him and pulled out a smooth, polished stick. "Take this. It's my lucky stick, it helped me rebuild after the great storm last year. Maybe it'll help you too." Olive tucked the stick under her wing and thanked him before continuing on her way. The closer she came to Moonrise Hill, the quieter the forest grew. The air felt still, and the shadows seemed to stretch longer than usual. Finally, she reached the hilltop and gasped. There, resting low behind the hill, was the moon itself, dim and pale, as if its light had been drained. "Moon. What are you doing here?" Olive asked softly, perching on a branch nearby. The moon let out a long, slow sigh. "I didn't feel like rising tonight," it said, its voice low and gentle. "No one notices me anymore. The animals have their lanterns, and people have lights in their homes. My glow feels unimportant." Olive's golden eyes softened. "Unimportant? Moon, without you, the forest loses its magic. The crickets fall silent, the river stops sparkling, and even the fireflies can't find their way." The moon looked doubtful. "Do they really care?" "They do," Olive said firmly. "They just need a reminder of how much you matter." The moon tilted its glowing face. "And how will you do that?" Olive thought for a moment. "Leave it to me." She flew back into the forest, her wings cutting through the cool night air. She visited every creature she could find, telling them about the moon's sadness. "We have to show the moon how much it means to us," she told Milo, Clara, Benny, the fireflies, and many others, hedgehogs, deer, foxes, and even shy rabbits hiding in the grass. By the time Olive returned to Moonrise Hill, a great crowd of animals was following her. Milo carried his best piece of cheese, Clara brought a basket of the sweetest berries, Benny carried fresh river water in large leaves, and the fireflies hovered above them like tiny golden lanterns. When they reached the moon, the animals began to sing. Their songs told stories of nights filled with moonlit adventures, of foxes finding their way home, owls hunting with ease, mice dancing in the silver grass. They shared food, danced in a circle, and laughed together. The moon, still low in the sky, watched with wide, glowing eyes. Slowly, a warm light began to return to its face. "You really do care," it whispered. "Of course we do," Olive said. "You're the heart of the night. Without you, the forest feels empty." The moon rose a little higher, its silver glow spreading across the trees. The crickets began to chirp again, the river shimmered like glass, and the fireflies darted happily through the air. The higher the moon climbed, the brighter it became, until it was shining with all its usual beauty. When it was high above the forest once more, the moon called down, "Thank you, Olive. I'll never feel forgotten again." Olive smiled, her feathers ruffling in the soft glow. "And we'll never take your light for granted." From that night on, the forest animals decided to hold a moon feast once every month. They would gather on Moonrise Hill, share food, sing songs, and tell stories under the moon's watchful glow. It became a tradition, one that reminded them all that even the quietest light could be the most important of all. And so whenever you walk through Whisperwood Forest on a night when the moon is full, you might just hear faint music drifting through the trees, the sound of a community celebrating the light that guides them and the wise young owl who helped it shine again.